Welcome, Envisioning My Health Meditation. A quote from Dr. Richard Bach, originator of the Bach flower remedies for emotional issues. To bring anything into your life, imagine that it is already there. My name is Agnes Lachlan. What is disease? What is health? There are many perspectives on these questions. I would like to share mine. Why is there sickness and misery in our world? If the divine mind created all that is, why was not just strength, joy, health, and plenty created only? If simply creating a vision of one's desires and holding it with your mind and without anxiety, and doing on the outward plane whatever seems necessary to bring the desire into fulfillment, then there seems no reason for the existence of poverty and sickness. Surely no one desires either. The first reason, according to Genevieve Barron, we do not create health or even wealth is that few people take the trouble to learn about the working principles of the laws of life. If they did, they would soon convince themselves that there is no necessity for the sickness and poverty which we see about us. They would realize that visualizing is a principle and not a fallacy. There are few who have found it worthwhile to study this simple though absolutely unfailing law, which will deliver them from suffering. However, people as a whole are not willing to give the time required to master this principle. It is either too simple or too difficult. They may make a picture of their desire with little understanding and visualize it for a day or two, but more frequently they give up after just an hour. Thought has great power when you hold it in the form of a mental picture. The more enthusiasm and faith you are able to put into your picture, the more quickly it will come into visible form. And your enthusiasm is increased by keeping your desire secret. Sharing it with others dissipates its energy. So, sharing what troubles you may be a good way to release what you do not want. The story of Mary Morrissey and her kidneys when she was 18 years old. I studied with Mary Morrissey in the Life Mastery Institute and in some of her programs. When Mary was 17 years old, she became pregnant when she was junior in high school. So this was in the 1960s. She was actually kicked out of school and had to go to a school for wayward girls and boys. And after she was around 18 years old, or 17, she delivered a baby boy. And 9 months later, she was in the hospital with fatal kidney disease. The doctor said she had 6 months to live, and they were going to take out one of her kidneys. She was scheduled for surgery. The other kidney was functioning at only 50%. So the night before the surgery, a chaplain, a woman, we'll call her an angel, came to visit Mary in her room. And this chaplain said to Mary, Mary, what's been going on in your life last year or so? So Mary shared about how she had the baby. She was hurriedly rushed into and got married, and the baby was there, and now she has fatal kidney disease. So the angel said, Mary, do you know that all things are created twice? First, they're created in your mind, and then they are created outside of you. So she said, Mary, you have been going through a lot of guilt and shame and not feeling good about yourself. So the angel asked Mary if she believed that all this toxic emotion and feelings of shame, if she could visualize them leaving her body. Right? The angel then asked Mary to visualize all this shame and emotion being put into the kidney that was going to be removed the next day. And Mary said that she could do this, that all this disease and shame would be put in the kidney that was being removed. Then the angel asked Mary to visualize taking her little boy to kindergarten a few years from that time, holding his hand, taking him up to the teacher on his first day of kindergarten. So Mary visualized this. Then the angel asked Mary to visualize the wedding day of her little boy in the future, that she was dancing, how she was feeling on his wedding day. Mary had the surgery, and she started feeling better. She felt better. She felt good. And 6 months after the surgery, when the doctor said she would be gone, Mary went to the doctor, and the doctor said that there was no more evidence of any disease in her one remaining kidney. They didn't understand it at all. The story of Myrtle Fillmore, the founder with her husband Charles of the Unity Churches. Myrtle had tuberculosis, but one day she went to a talk where she heard that she was a child of God and therefore she did not inherit disease. Myrtle took this talk very much to heart, decided to sit and meditate every day for an hour or so to send love and healing to her lungs and body. After 2 whole years, she was healed. The story of Louise Hay. Louise was a lived with her mother and stepfather, and she was emotionally and sexually abused by her stepfather. She ran away from home at the age of 15, and she set up a relationship with any man that would treat her with kindness. She soon became pregnant, had a baby, gave it up for adoption. She later moved to New York and started studying some of the spiritual principles of the science of mind and thought. And she wrote a book called You Can Heal Your Life. She also founded Hay House, a big publishing firm worth over $100 million at her death in the early 90s. Louise later developed cancer, and she knew that somehow her feelings and emotions had created this. So Louise did a lot of healing work to release some of this toxic feeling, emotions, and she did forgiveness work. She forgave her stepfather and visualized him as a little boy who had also been abused. Louise Hay healed her cancer and lived into her early 90s. My story. I have created arthritis in my right knee, but is doing amazingly well. Not only do I visualize its health 2 times daily, I have created multiple conditions and visualizations for its perfection. I hydrate well at all times. I have learned from experts on hydration how to maximize mine. I've studied the microbiome. Do you know that there are 10 times more microbes in your gut than we have cells in our body? Do you know that the balance of these microbes influences, in fact, determines our health? How do you determine ways to have a healthy microbiome? Do you avoid antibiotics? Do you eat a variety of fresh fruits and vegetables? Do you know about parasites? I have made it my passion to understand as much as I can about this. I want to share a story also of Dr. Joe Dispenza, the chiropractor. There are many stories, but in 1986, Dr. Joe was in a bike-a-thon and hit by a car and he was hit by a Ford Bronco, knocked off his bicycle. This was a wake-up call to wake up. He had 6 compression fractures in his back vertebrae. The solution given to him was a Harrington rod surgery, where they insert this rod on his spine. He consulted 4 different doctors who all recommended the surgery. He was told he would never walk again. Joe checked himself out of the hospital. He went through 6 weeks of hell. First reconstructing his vertebrae, then flipping his thoughts. to spending the rest of his life in a wheelchair and selling his practice. After this flipping, he started to focus only on reconstructing and visualizing the repair of his vertebrae for 3 hours daily. He felt something click or start to work in like just a week. In 10 weeks, he was able to walk, and by 12 weeks, he was back to normal. He focused on the intelligence in his body, which knew exactly how he would heal. Dr. Joe took 3 hours daily to visualize the reconstruction of his spine, as only a chiropractor could. He reduced this visualization to 45 minutes after 3 weeks. Dr. Joe says our thoughts are often about negative outcomes. And since our bodies are 78% water, which stores information, this information freezes in our crystalline cellular matrix. Negative outcomes, just as positive thoughts, crystallize like a snowflake, will freeze into a beautiful crystal. The emotional state like? What are you thinking about when you think? Are you in love with your life and grateful for all of its abundance? Do you see lack of acknowledgement, lack of love, lack of money, lack of friends? Or are you grateful for all the abundance around you? The birds that sing, the flowers, and their amazing colors and beauty? Do you feel a lack from having no partner? What do you want to create? If you would love to change your daily emotional state to sustain joy and gratitude, I have a simple program that I could share with you. I could tell more stories and discuss your trapped emotions, which you have created or inherited. Let us do our meditation now. I created this meditation. I say it twice daily, every single day. I've been doing this for over 4 years. Let us enter into this meditation by taking a deep breath and letting it go. Let's take another deep breath. And one more deep breath. Release it. Let us connect to our divine potential to be amazing and create amazing things. Prayer, according to Greg Braden, is just visioning and feeling what you desire and being grateful for it. Thank you, God, for this day. Thank you for my life. Let us see unconditional love pour into every cell in our body like a waterfall. Thank you. Thank you for the universe. Thank you for the universe supporting me unconditionally. Thank you for love, joy, bliss, and ecstasy of my senses. Thank you for my family and friends. Thank you for my home, transportation, clothes. Thank you for the food I eat today. Bless it and may it nourish me in the optimal way. Thank you, every cell in my body is happy. Every cell in my body is healthy. Thank you, all my cells vibrate with the optimal vibration of love. Thank you for all animals and their love. Thank you for trees, flowers, plants, and how they sustain my life. Thank you for the gift of sound and ears to hear it all. Thank you, all my cells take in nourishment in the optimal way. Thank you, all my cells release toxins in the optimal way. Thank you, all my mitochondria manufacture energy and function in the optimal way. Thank you, all my telomeres are the optimal energy and length. Thank you, my DNA strands are fully charged with love, light, sound, and replicate in the optimal way. Thank you, all my collagen, keratin, elastin, hyaluronic acid regenerates and functions in the optimal way. Thank you, the energy flows through all my meridians in the optimal way. Thank you, my joints, or whatever area of challenge in your body. Thank you, it is happy and healthy. Thank you, my area of challenge is regenerating in the optimal way. Thank you, all my cells absorb water in the optimal way. Thank you, all my cells release metabolic toxins and uric acid crystals in the optimal way. Thank you, all my cells absorb carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, glucose, human growth hormone, MSM, sulfur, all minerals, including calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, all vitamins in the optimal way. Down to the quantum level, matter to energy, energy to matter. Thank you for my happy, healthy microbiome and that it supports beneficial microorganisms that sustain my health. Thank you for the alkaline pH of my cells and the high optimal zeta potential around all my cells. Thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done. Show me how, show me now. Please feel free to add whatever you would like to this meditation. And if you need any suggestions, please feel free to ask me. Thank you and blessings.